Okay, I'm going to run through the process of running the Clinical Quality Measures or CQM report. If you'll remember, this report can only be run from the server, not your workstation. So you'll need to go over to your server and log into the server. And on the desktop of your server, you should see an icon that looks like this that says Clinical Quality Reporting. And I'm going to actually bring up an image of it so you have a better idea of what it looks like. But the way that you run it is to simply double click that icon. And when you do, a username and login screen will pop up. And this is the same one that you would have when you were logging into your Medisoft Clinical or Litech MD or Total Practice Partner. So you want to go ahead and put in the same user credentials that you use when you log into your EMR software. And when you do, this box will pop up. Now, if this is the first time that you've opened up your CQM3 tool, it will run through a process where it says updating RX norm tables, and that can run for several minutes. So if the behavior of yours doesn't exactly match what you just saw, then it's probably the first time that you've opened it up. So this is the CQM box, and like a lot of Windows applications, you can kind of grab the corner of this and make it a little bit larger, drag it out if you want to. I'll do that just to make it easier to see in the video here. But you can tell if you have the CQM3 tool by looking down at the lower right-hand corner, and down here it should say CQM Update 3. If yours doesn't say that, please give us a call or send an email to support1@avsmedical.com and ask us to update your CQM tool. We can do that for you pretty easily. But you'll see a list of all of the CQM measures that McKesson has approved. And if you'll remember, you need 3 core measures or alternate core. So you'll see to the right of the description it says core measure or it says alternate core measure. So you need a total of 3 that are either core or alternate core, and then you need 3 more that are not core and not alternate core. So let me say that a little bit differently. You can only have 3 core/alternate core, and you must have 3 that are not core or alternate core. So you can't have 4 and 2 or 5 and 1. It's got to be a mixture of 3 and 3. So you'll look through this list, you'll see the 3 of each type that are appropriate, and you'll just put a check mark in the box next to the one that you want. I'm just going to check these first 4 or 5 here. The next thing you'll do is you'll come down to the first box that says extract, and you'll put in the date range that you want to run this for. Now, you'll notice that it defaults on mine to January 1st of this year, 2013, and I've manually typed in today's date. So the first time you open this up, it's not going to have the right to date in there. And you can click next in that, and you'll get a little calendar icon will pop up, and you can scroll through here and pick whatever ending month that you wish. And then once you've got the extract dates set, you'll come down to the summarize dates, and you'll make these dates here match the 2 up here. So make sure all of the beginning and ending dates are exactly the same. So once you've got your 2 date ranges set up, you'll come down to the very bottom where it says report, and you'll notice the default says all providers combined. You want to change that. You want to go over to the by provider tab, and when you do, the providers button highlights. You want to click that providers button and choose your provider initials off of the list. And if you've got more than one provider, just do this one at a time for both of them. So I've got ABC checked here. I'm going to hit close. And now when I've got my dates set up here, my dates here, I've got my provider chosen, I want to go back up here where it says extract data, and I'm going to click extract data 1 time. And if you see this, you can just hit yes. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go in and it's going to extract all of the data. And sometimes it'll just sit for a few minutes. And if this is the first time you've run it, it can run for quite a while. I've seen it run for 10, 15 minutes or longer. So if it doesn't look like it's done, just let it sit there. And the way you can tell when it's done is at the very top line, it'll say summarize finished. So that's how you know it's done. Once it's done, you can click the close button down here. And now that it's done, you can come down to the export button here at the bottom. I'm going to choose export. And you've got your choice of file types, Word, Excel, PDF, or an XML file. I'm going to choose a PDF file. So I click PDF, I double click PDF, and when I do, I get my standard Windows File Save As box. Now, What I would suggest is that you save this somewhere on your network where you can access it from your computer or any other workstation in the practice. So on your network, you've probably got a folder, or excuse me, a drive labeled P. And you'll see mine says local disk C, P part. Yours will probably say local disk P. If it doesn't, hit that little drop down, choose P off the list, and on your P drive, you'll have a folder called AVS installs, and you want to put it in that AVS installs. And that way, you can access it from any other workstation on your network. So I'm going to go ahead and on mine, I'm going to put on the desktop of my server since I don't really have a network set up here. And I'm just going to type in CQM, and I've already got one on there, so I'm going to do _2 just so I know which one this is, and I'll hit save. Now that I've done that, I can hit the close button, and you can hit preview here if you want to, but I would suggest is just hitting exit at this point. Now I'm back to the desktop of my server where I stored the file. There it is, CQM2, and I can double click this. And here it is. So here's my clinical quality measures report. It's got the reporting period that we chose when we did the setup, the date and the time that it was run, and the provider for whom we ran the report. Down below that, it's going to have the values of each of the CQMs that you chose. The CQMs are listed by their NQF number and then the description, and then down below it a brief description of what that CQM is, and then your numerator and your denominator. So if you look to the right, you'll see the numerator, the denominator, and with CQMs, there's also something called an exclusion. In my demo database, I don't have any data at all in here, so mine are all zeros, but you should see numerators and denominators on yours. So that is how you run the clinical quality measures report. If you don't have CQM3, please contact us and we will install it for you right away. Thanks again.